Yo, what's up, guys? So yeah, today I'm gonna be talking about what I've been doing in the past couple days. Let me get a sip of this Red Bull right here. Alright, so if you want to hear me about me struggling with nixos, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. You know what to do. Let's get this boosted in the algorithm now. Onwards and outwards. A couple days ago, I was like, "Yo, I feel like a wizard." You know what I mean? Like I'm doing all this GNU core util stuff. I'm like piping commands. I'm doing this and that. I'm like, "Yo, I'm a wizard. I can do nixos now. I feel confident." And probably what is it? Like a few months ago, or well, no, this is probably like it was a while ago. It's maybe over a year ago. I had played around on nixos a couple times and for probably about a month at a time, I had it on a laptop, and I was just like, damn, like, this is really cool, but I do not understand this. And I'm still basically in the same place now. However, I have a lot better of an understanding than I did before. I guess that was contradictory to the previous statement. But anyway, so I've been struggling, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've been struggling. There's been a couple of things that is like weird. I would get this like I don't even want to show my bash history. Let's just put it this way. Anyway, oh, okay. Let me just talk about first. nixos is it's really weird. I wanted to approach making videos about this and being like, yeah, you can if you're a beginner, you could totally do this. Blah blah blah. But now the deeper I get into it, no. It's just not the case. I think if you were just to install like KDE or GNOME Desktop and not worry about any theming, and then all you wanted to do was add packages that you can that you would normally use to your config, I think if you approached it in that direction, sure, it could be in a way beginner friendly, but it's really not. There's no way. So I'll kind of get into like what my roadblock has been. So GTK themes, right? They don't. You can't just install them in the pack. Hold on, let me open up my configuration. What is it? Nix. I got a little alias set up. So you can't just add like normally if you go down here that this is where you would add all your little packages in here, and you'd be like, oh hey bud, I want to put you know flat remix GTK, which is the one that I want to use, right? And you'd put it in here, and then you're like, haha, and then you go over here, and you're like, oh well, let me do this. I'm gonna open up MWG, look, right? There ain't gonna be no themes here. No matter how many of those themes you install in that area, there will not be themes there. Now, there is a solution to this. There is a way to get around this, right? Um, what you do is you set up flakes, which I've done on this machine, and then you set up home manager. And in your home manager config or whatever, that's where you can set up your GTK themes. I already know what the module looks like. I could probably write it from memory right now and everything. However, I can't get to the point of using home manager. So I was following a Vim Joyer tutorial where he explained it's like his like ultimate Nix guide, and then it's like Flakes Home Manager is the title. So I go into my little thing, right? I'm like, oh look how cool I am. I'm CDing around, Woo. Right? What was it? NixOS right here to like where this folder is, where your configuration normally is. And I do the uh you know, there's a template command or whatever. No, that's not it. Right here. And I grab this thing off of GitHub. It's a starter flake or whatever. I go to, I don't change anything about it, and then I go to rebuild it, and I get this fucking command. Uh, let's see if I can find right here. So basically, this person had the same problem that I was having. You'd get this error where it was basically like, "Hey, bud, your host name doesn't match." So I switched my host name back to nixos, and I still keep getting the error. Is this a good one? Is there better? Cause there's a few articles on this, like right here, this Reddit one, right? So this is the error right here. Error, Flake. Path to etc nixos does not provide attribute, and then it says something about x86 packages, and then the host name, right? And I go through all this, and here's the problem with nerds in Linux, right? And you guys are fucking evil for this, right? There's a new person that doesn't know anything, right? So they go into a forum, they go into Reddit, they go to X, Y, and Z places, and they ask a question. Hey man, this is my problem. Here's the logs. They provide every shred of information that you would ever possibly need to help them with their problem. And then the response is always, "Oh yeah, it's just this." And then it's like, "Okay, dude, so now I have a whole new puzzle I gotta figure out because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why don't you just tell me the line that I need to fix, tell me what I need to put there, and then explain to me what's happening. Don't just be like, oh yeah, I think it should be like this shit. I think it should be nix.lib.nixos system at the output section you are mixing nix pack." This doesn't tell me anything, bro. Like, I understand where he's talking about in the config, right? In the flake, but you're missing the, okay, where? Just write the correct line so I can copy and paste it and then explain it to me why it's wrong. That's how a lot of people learn. But even, and the same problem is with ArchWiki and all that sort of stuff. You have a problem, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just this," and then they don't give you they don't, well, okay, I shouldn't say it doesn't always happen, but a lot of the times they don't give you the solution. They tell you how to fix it, but they don't really tell you how to fix it. They're just like, but that's just a little side rant. This isn't deterring me from using this. Even though I got that error, like, I'll get past this in like a day, and then I'll feel great about it, which is kind of like my addiction to all this Linux stuff. is that whole situation. Anyway, outside of doing all of that, my configuration was very easy to set up. There was a couple things that I realized that just don't come with nixos, which is like kind of weird. Like, hold on, I'll show you, like, what is it? Still, like, core utils. I don't know if I needed it or not, but there was like certain things that, like, I don't know, I guess kind of weren't working, so I just put it in anyway. libnotify, they just don't have it. So yeah, so libnotify is something I had to add in order to get, like, Dunst working and X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then there's like a couple other weird things. Like, I feel like JQ is normally included in like almost everything. That wasn't. That was weird. As you can tell, I don't have like a ton of stuff up on here right now. I just have like the bare minimum. I did get Steam up and running, and I got games installed, and I played games on here, so that's really good. Another weird issue I had. So, let me just. I'm gonna just do a new file just so I can basically, let me. So my Hyperland rice takes whatchamacallit, AGS as the bar. And I was working on the rice for the notifications. So AGS was gonna handle my bar and notifications, and my I was gonna replace Tofi as well, right? I don't know what's wrong. I couldn't get it to work, and I installed it like this in the main configuration. So it'd be like, ooh, that's not. Let me just open this like this. We'll zoom in. It was this pkgs dot ags, right? And then I copied my config over, and I don't know, just for some reason it wouldn't work. And I uninstalled it, rebuilt the machine. I deleted the config folder. I reinstalled it. I put in a fresh default config, and for whatever flipping reason, I don't know if I'm missing a dependency or something like that, but yeah. So that's basically it. So AGS is another hurdle I'm gonna have to. And hey, listen, I'm a bored guy. You know what I mean? I'm pretty bored. I like to read. You know what I mean? I read a lot. So this isn't. I'm saying that these are problems, but this is just like another quest in the video game for me. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So yeah, I had a problem getting AGS going. What else? QD stuff doesn't work. Yeah, and then the GTK, I already covered that. Outside of that, the machine's been perfectly stable and running perfectly smoothly, and I'll say Hyperland on nixos runs a lot more smoother than I was running on Arch Linux. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. Because it should run the same, right? Like, because they're really just repackaging all from the same place. So I don't know why it would be different. Anyway, when I got everything set up though, it was very smooth. So like kind of like the idea is gonna be this is I'm gonna convert all my configs over into flakes, and then I'm gonna have them up on GitHub eventually. I don't know how long this is gonna take. It's gonna be a thing, but yeah. So like the ultimate goal out of all of this is for me to number one learn something new, so I have new quests to do for the RPG that is Linux, right? And then get being able to easily distribute my rices, and I really feel like uh flakes is gonna be the deal, because if you think about it, and I could be stupid right now, just speculating on this, but I should be able to get the entirety of my config into a flake. Like, I think the only thing that wouldn't be able to install is FL Studio, because you have to use bottles, which I've never even checked to see if bottles is even in there. I'll get into a couple pro tips too, since I have my browser open. Pro tip, set yourself a bookmark that goes right here to this page. Because then you can search for your packages and your Nix options. Like if I wanted to go to Nix options, what is it? D right there. We can... Hello? Oh yeah, I'm already there. But yeah, you could search the options, and then you can search the packages. And yeah, so this is really useful. What was I just thinking? Oh yeah, let me check. I want to see. I'm sure bottles is in here, right? Ooh. Ooh. I spelled it wrong. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, we got bottles right there. Okay, cool. So yeah, getting bottles, that'll probably be my next thing, putting bottles on here so I can have FL Studio, and I can write beats and whatever. Another thing I did to just like make my life like a ton easier, I can open a hello, mcfly. All right, there we go. I did change some stuff. So when you first get this, you don't have a bash RC, which is fine. I don't mind writing my bash RC. As you can tell, I don't put a lot in here. It's very simple, not complex at all. But if you see, I've got a couple things in here. I have nixcomp, which opens up the configuration file in Vim, right? That's very, I did the same thing for my Hyperland configuration. And then for rebuild, so I don't have to type the fucking command all the time, I got that alias for that right there. So those are simple aliases, just save you a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. Normally I'm against aliases, but I don't know. I've been using them a lot more lately. My whole thing about it is like when I use it, then I feel lazy and I feel like I might eventually forget what it does. Only because at one point I had used Arch for so long I forgot how to update Debian, and I had to look it up. And I forgot that it was in two separate commands that you basically, you update and upgrade. Yeah. Try to think of what else to cover. Okay, nixos documentation is garbage. The last time I looked at it, it was garbage. It's still garbage. I don't know if it's because I'm spoiled from looking at the Arch Wiki for so long, but it is kind of garbage. I'm sorry. Sorry, nixos users. However, I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out if I smack my head against it long enough, which actually that's what Home Manager is going to be next. I don't know why this is a roadblock for me. It shouldn't be, but hey, dude, what can you do? I'm trying to think what else I want to cover on this. Oh yeah, so a side note, like this is not what you call it, NixOS related, but I think I've gotten over the hill of using NeoVim. I realized the reason why I hated it is because I didn't have all the cool plugins, right? So I installed LunarVim, and LunarVim is pretty cool. I've been able to get it up and running, and I've used like like what's it, like this fine text like T. If I do like PS1, right, it'll bring it up right here. Oh, there's a PS1 value right here in the bash RC. You know what I mean? Then you can come right in here. That is amazing. Only because there's certain, like, I'll remember an attribute from a config, but I'll forget what config it's in, and I can just type it in there, and then boom, I can jump right into the file. I'll find it. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's in my Tofi config, and I jump in there, right? Very cool. Very cool. Um, there's more stuff about LunarVim I'm gonna explore and do it, but I'm not installing any other editors on my machine. I'm only gonna use NeoVim from now on. Like that's the rule that I'm making for myself. I've gotten over the little hump I was having with visual mode. I can actually use visual mode now, and I don't feel like an idiot. Um, yeah, so that was another big triumph for me. Was like just okay, it was like a nice deep breath let out, like okay, I can use this now, like I can fully use it with all the things that I normally do, and it works. And yeah, anything else? um yeah, I can't think of anything else, but yeah, we'll get a little neo fetch just for the proof of the matter. There you go. NixOS. I'm gonna have more videos coming out about NixOS, obviously, as I walk through this journey of teaching myself how to be smarter than I already am. Because you definitely, this is definitely not a beginner thing. Like I said earlier on, I was under this naive premise that I was gonna make these videos and be like, oh yeah, this will just be something easy for me to explain, and I could do like a quick and dirty NixOS setup. But then I realized, you know what prevents you from having a quick and dirty setup on this machine? Not having like easy access, like direct access from the main configuration of using GTK themes. That's basically it. If I didn't have to use those, uh, like I could probably show a quick and dirty setup. But like most people who use Linux in the year 2024 have Qt or GTK on their machine in some form, right? So like that kind of nullifies my whole trying to do something easy thing. Anyways, if you like the video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, right? Please do all the things. Helps you boy out in the algorithm, like I said before. Uh, I'm gonna go back to like reading about this stuff and melting my brain with Nixlang. Alright. Have a good night. Enjoy.